Outstanding Games of October.
Welcome to our October video of Outstanding Games. My name is Psychic Larry.
I'm Jonah.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Kevin, and Larry's going to start us off.
My game for this month is an expansion for the Lost Ruins of Arnak, The Missing Expedition. Jonah and I got to play this one through in the campaign.
Whoa.
So there's a campaign portion of it that you can play through, which was a lot different, and it was super fun. It was 6 campaigns that you played through, and they also gave you 2 new leaders that you could use. A lot more complex than the leaders in the last.
But they were good. They were good.
The campaign, I'm assuming, is still competitive.
Or is it
No,
cooperative?
it's cooperative campaign now.
That's cool.
It's a cooperative campaign, and then it adds the 2 new leaders. It also adds a new, what is it called? The research track board. So there's another one
that's a lot packed in there.
double-sided. Yeah. It was super fun. We got to play through all of them. We're going to do a video on it soon coming up. So
Nice.
Cool.
That's mine.
My game for October is Ark Nova expansion as well. So 2 expansions to games. This one's called Marine World, and I really enjoyed playing this. Again, Larry and I and some other folks got to play this one. It adds a bunch of things. One thing that I really loved is it adds little meeples for your kind of personal player board. Of course, I played with the black color character, so I got little penguins. It was kind of fun.
That's cool.
It also adds a bunch of new cards, a bunch of sea creatures or marine world creatures. Some of them have special abilities like coral around them that'll let you activate them again if you get more coral things. It's just... it actually adds one piece of the game, kind of a tidal wave, that actually keeps some of the cards moving in the game as well.
Helps you keep
so
the market going.
You get new cards, but then the cards keep moving. It's really helpful. I really enjoyed that this month. That is Marine Worlds and Ark Nova
One question:
extension.
do you feel like that adds length to the game, or do you think because of some of the new mechanics it helps keep the game?
Yeah, I would not say that it adds length.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's going to play in the same gameplay time that you would normally expect.
Yeah.
It does add a little... I mean, you got to learn a few new nuances at the beginning.
Yes.
And one of the things that's actually one of the best parts of it that I forgot to mention is that your action cards, you start with 5, but this expansion comes with new sets of action cards that you can actually pick and choose and draft or whatever you want to do.
So you have asymmetrical powers.
So you have asymmetrical action card powers now, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
So, cool.
I think it helped some of the things that people complained about, like not being able to go through the deck. The waves push the deck, so you can see more cards, and it gives it variety with the asymmetrical powers.
Alright, well, my favorite game of October is not an expansion. It is Perspectives from Space Cowboys, and this is a cooperative kind of like mystery solving game. It has 3 cases in the box.
With a tutorial to begin.
With a tutorial. We've played the tutorial and 2 of the cases so far. And the interesting thing is it's mainly cards, and you deal cards out to each player. So we've normally played about 4 or 5 players. And there are 12 cards. So I may have 2 cards in my hand. You have 2 cards. Larry has 2 cards. Kevin has 2 cards.
Yep.
And we're describing what these cards are to other players.
We're not drawing them, right?
No drawing.
No drawing.
No drawing. So it might be like, oh, I have a security camera on the front door at 10:05. And you may be like, well, I have that same camera, but at 10:10. And so I'm like, oh, well, the door is shut on mine. And you're like, oh, no, there's a umbrella wedged into the door in mine. And so you're trying to piece together what happened. The game does have like specific questions that you're supposed to answer. So it's kind of leading you to, hey, try to figure this out.
Cool.
And each case has 4 acts. So you're going to have like...
You'll have new cards each act.
So you're kind of getting more of the story. And you can put 1 card down at the table for everyone to look at. So you're also trying to decide, like, I think I have a really important card that everyone needs to see. And someone else is like, I just have a memo. I know a little bit, but it's not helpful for other people. So we found it really interesting. So far, I liked the first case
Yeah,
a
I'm
little
with
bit
Melissa.
more than the second case, but I am looking forward to playing the third. You don't destroy anything. You wouldn't play it again because it's, story-based. It has answers, but you could give the box to somebody else.
Player count?
Cool.
You can probably play up to 6, I think.
It says 2 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6 players, 12 cards. Each person would have 2 cards.
So you just have less cards or more cards?
Yeah.
Depending on...
You always deal out all
I would
the
say
cards.
if you have more than 6, I mean, and you could play with more than 6 players, but
Everybody
I don't
has
think it
one
would.
card.
Yeah, it would just wouldn't
Yeah,
work because too many people are trying to talk over. Even 6 players was a lot to okay, you have information that I think is important, so you're trying to communicate. So I did find the more players, it's harder to communicate.
Yeah, so at 3 players, you would have
3 cards, 4 cards each.
4 cards
Yeah.
each, so you have more of the context. But
Oh, right.
yeah, I think it worked well. It was interesting and a different type of way to solve a mystery because you
Right.
all have pieces of the information.
And I don't know if you said this, but at the end of each act, there's questions that is asking you to verify.
see if
Do
you
you
solved
actually
it.
know what's happening? And
Yep.
then there's then the story. All right. Mine is Kutna Hora from CGE. This is for 2 to 4 players and it says 30 minutes per player. I would say that's about right. This we played on the community game night, Jonah and I, and we played, I think, in about 2 hours. There was a rules teach in addition to that, so I would say that's about right.
The first time
First time any of us had played. I really like action selection type games. This has it where each player has their own set of cards, action cards. Each card has dual dual use in that there's 2 different actions on the card, and you have to choose the best action on your turn to play. So if you play for one action, then you're not playing it for the other action. And I find that was really fun trying to figure out which actions I wanted to play in a given round. You are building tiles, you're exploring mines, you are gaining different rights and plots of land and things like that. So it's like a Euro type game.
Yeah, and the economy market is changing.
That's the big thing that I really like about this game. There's no actual resources in the game. It's not wood and silver and ore that you're collecting, but there is a market board where those resources are changing and fluctuating throughout the game. And what you're doing is say I need to spend 2 wood to build something. Well, wood might be $3 for each wood. So if I need to spend 2, that's 2 times 3, and that's $6 that I have money. It's the currency, and I'm spending those 6 monies to do that action. I was a little concerned that the math would take me out.
Be
a little tough. I would say throughout the whole game, the only time I felt that was a little bit tough was when we were doing income.
Yeah.
Because you have multiple things that you're trying to get income from the different resources that you have tracks on. And I felt that was the only time in the game. I don't know, Jonah, if your thought on that one.
Yeah, I also thought because it's all currency based, even if you have to spend wood or spend was there meat or something or beer, I thought that we would run out of the tokens because it didn't seem like that many.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're collecting income, you could get pretty high income, maybe 40, 50, 60. Yeah. And we didn't run out with 4 players, but I just thought that we might. Sure. So it was they have kind of the right number, but it seemed like maybe they didn't. I really enjoyed the game. I did not run into, because you have to choose which action, there's 2 actions on the card, I didn't run into a time during the game where I was out of that action. You know how normally sometimes it's if I take income, I won't be plotting. Yeah. I never ran into that.
I ran into it a couple times, so I had to be really careful. I know another guy at the table. There is a one of the sides is a joker, like a wild. He had to use that, but you get negative points from that. So he had to use his joker. So he really needed to do a certain type of action.
And it was already out of the round.
He couldn't do it. So
for the first time that you play this game, it is a little. I would say the aesthetic of the game is a little misleading because it's the city of silver, Kutna Hora. So it's kind of a monochrome, all same color type of board and type of experience. Yeah. and there's lots of moving pieces and lots of things to learn. But then when you play, it's actually relatively straightforward gameplay. And so I thought it was going to be more. I thought it was going to be heavier. I thought it was going to be more than it was. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It gave the impression that
you're going to be like, this is a pretty like crunchy, meaty game. I mean, there's like brain burny. Yeah. There is some of that, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah.
So the other thing I like is on your player board, you are uncovering things and getting more powerful throughout the game. So I appreciate that too. So Kutna Hora is my pick for October. Let us know in the comments what were some of your favorite games that you played in the month of October. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching.